So
So it was a back rub that worked into the lower back.
from the whole back and ended up down lower than it should have been.
On the buttocks or something else?
Yeah,
And did it move to the front of her body?
no.
Okay. Did it go anywhere besides her buttocks?
I don't, that was about it.
Okay. Was anything said between you and her about that?
She came back and was, I don't remember, but there was something about that we discussed it. And she was, I said, okay, we're just part of the family, I'm sorry. I don't know as I said, I'm sorry. I don't remember except that we explained it away. And she seemed fine. And I felt okay, except for the fact that it had happened and
Sure.
didn't feel okay about that.
Have you kept in contact with?
No.
Okay. Where's she from? Do you remember?
It was from, I don't recall that either. It seemed to me like it was someplace like that. I better not comment on that because I don't know.
No, that's fine. No, that's. You know if she ever got married after her mission?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think she got a job as, dredging it up here.
Oh, okay.
And she ended up marrying was not a member of the church. She taught him the gospel. He turned, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
No, where was this at? Where was she?
Pardon me?
Where was she? Local?
Wherever
or
they
you-
lived, I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of a cool story.
I think it is.
Yeah. Do you think, did they stay married? Did they have
Well,
kids?
to my recollection, it was a good marriage. They're still married.
Oh, good.
I didn't track out.
Sure. No, that's cool. That's good. Do you remember her last name?
Her married name.
Her married name. Okay. But she was from possibly. Don't know. Wasn't Utah though, right? It was,
No.
Okay. All right. So you, this is quite a few years ago. Since then, I'm sure you've, been through your fair share of temple recommend interviews. And did your wife ever know about this?
The thing?
Yes. No, not with Sister
Either
Hughes.
one of them?
With either one of them.
I don't think so.
So you never cleared that with your wife then. It never was something that. Okay.
No. It wasn't. It was a thing of. No, I did not.
Okay. And but you said you took care of it ecclesiastically
Yes.
through a bishop
Both
or somebody
cases.
else?
Bishop.
Was it somebody higher than that? Was state president, or was it while you were mission president, or at what point in your life did you try to make that right? Did you,
Oh, right away.
were you still the MTC president when you?
Yes.
Do you remember who you talked to about it?
I don't.
Did you stay on as president after you had?
Yes.
So you continued on with your duties as the MTC president? Okay.
So as the MTC president, would you, is your hierarchy one of the,
Pardon me?
is it MTC
I'm a little-
president? Okay. Is the MTC president, would you necessarily go to a bishop to resolve that, or would you go to,
I had
managing director?
I attended a ward. I don't remember
Oh.
where I went, but it was an appropriate
I see, so, okay.
ecclesiastical,
So probably a bishop. Your bishop.
probably.
Okay.
My life is hard to understand for me. I have had, this is an aside, I've had so many blessings. It pains me to think that I was wayward. I've had spiritual experiences, the MTC being one of them. We reorganized the whole MTC. Story of that is when I took over there, I had this deep feeling that we needed to improve the process of the program. So I took the directors of instruction on an off-site workshop. And I said, teach me. I need to know everything about the MTC. I'm new, I don't know, you tell me. And in that process, I asked, how can we improve? It wasn't planned, it was just trying to get up to speed with my responsibilities. And I remember there was no answer to that. We're fine, President, we're fine. And I thought, they know, because they're here, they've been here, they've seen presidents come and go. And so everything's fine. Nevertheless, that concern was ever with me. We need to do something. I didn't know what, didn't know how. But I called another off-site workshop. And this time I said, okay, tell me what we want the missionary to be able to do, to think, believe after the training. Talk to me about that. And everybody got excited and they had all kinds of ideas. I was up on the board writing and we ended up with everybody being excited about what we called the profile of the missionary, which detailed what they wanted to have happen. Then I took the profile back to my office. This is part of the escape to a place to look at, think, and you don't need to.
No, it's fine.
I'm not trying to, I'm just telling you my life now, how it's made me ashamed and at the same time, anyway, so what I did was I found that there was about a 40% mismatch between what they wanted to have happen to the missionary and what was actually in the training program. So then I went back, had another, is this one wrong or is this one wrong? Because they both can't be right. If we are training here and yet we think we want to do this, how do we reconcile that? That ended up in a deep analysis of the program of the MTC. We call that the mission statement of the MTC. It was the statement was a great improvement over what we were doing, what we wanted to do then, now united. I didn't have, I think with the exception of maybe one person, it was a united front that we wanted to get this. Took it to, and that started the process of, and he was then moved from the missionary, he was the executive director of the missionary department of the church.
As a 70, is that right?
As a 7.
Mhm.
No, yes, as a 70. First council, first quorum, rather. He said, would you like to? He was ambivalent. He wanted to do it, then the next week he didn't want to do it. And finally, okay, we won't do it. But then he was moved, and I went to him and said, would you like to hear this, our work for the last 2.5 years? But, and I also told him, but you should know that before you answer, had heard it and turned it down. So you're not going blindly into, not going around anybody, that type thing. And he said, come see me Thursday, got a half an hour. Said to me, Joe, if you don't care who gets the credit, I think I can punch this one through. Well, the answer was, who cares about the credit? This isn't that at all. He was asking me because I put my life's blood into it. And I had enough experience to know that I, Joe Bishop, president of the MTC, a presidency that changes every 3 years, didn't have the clout with all of the general authorities, but that did. He took it to who had a lot of clout, and he was the next in line to, oh, I'm way too busy, I'm saying too much about stuff that's irrelevant. But it goes back to trying to find peace in my life.
What are your fears?
Pardon?
What are your fears with this
My fear
coming
is
up?
I don't know how I'll be judged. I want to be with my family. I don't know if that can happen. I don't want my family saddened because of my foolishness. That's the same question. I gave her the same answer. Yeah, I don't want to bring sorrow and hurt to any more people. I need pain. It's my suffering. I've done everything that I can, I think, through the years to figure out my life. That's why I'm telling this little story about how I was inspired. I was inspired. It wasn't my experience, my background, or anything, to ask those questions. I was inspired to redo the whole training program of the MTC. Those things I know to be true. Then I put me in this other light and say, what in the world were you thinking, Joe Bishop? You've had this experience and many others. Same thing as mission president in Argentina. We went from 30 baptisms a month up to 400 a month while I was there, all through inspiration, all through counsel of others. What was I thinking? You see, I've had all of these experiences.
Well, that's just it, right? I mean,
Pardon?
that's just it. Everybody will do good things, but they still will make mistakes. We all do that, you know.
We all do that, but I'd had bigger experiences, at least as I can tell you, my patriarchal blessing is just very specific. You will do this, 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 this. It's not common in patriarchal. All of that's happened except one revelation that I haven't received. Now I know that could never come, or that could come on the other side. I'm just saying, I'm mad at me for having felt the Spirit so strongly and have acted foolishly.
So, Brother Bishop, I agree. I think, Heavenly Father uses us to do great things here. And you pegged it. We're all the natural man. And that's just the way it is. I think right now, and you said this earlier, you're 85. Life on this earth is, it's coming to an end quickly.
I also have a heart condition.
You have a heart condition.
I'm here to be close to family. They check in on me.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm sorry, I'm not.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. So I'm going to ask you something
Yes.
that we're asked in our temple recommend interviews. Is there anything else